Welcome back everyone to Black Mamba Wing Chun. Today I'm going to do a little follow-up. In our last lesson we were talking about how to transition from your stance here to coming in, fighting from a neutral square position when you get in close. That's kind of introduction to the footwork to closing in. Today we're going to go a little tiny bit more in depth, just to add one more step to it. So when you're here, okay, in your fighting stance, you're still focusing on all those same things we worked on with our stance before. So hips forward, sinking your energy down here, keeping this nice and tall, chin tucked down, hands up, okay? Those basics here as you're moving. This is so that you can stay mobile, chase down your opponent, and get in close to get into the pocket there so we can use our techniques. However, if you're lucky, when you're chasing your opponent down, they're gonna back straight up for you, okay? That's an ideal situation when you're trying to, because then we can use our forward energy. You can step in and rush, okay, create that angle and attack from the blind side. They become a somewhat stationary target, even though they're going straight back. However, in a real situation, lots of people are gonna be more mobile than that. So you're not always gonna see, unless you're very inexperienced, you're not gonna see people just backing straight up for you and getting off balance just because you're rushing in, okay? They may go to the side, they're gonna have their own solution. So in that case, one of the most important things, too often in Wing Chun, people tend to think about the Buma, the step, as just being forward and backward, okay? The problem is that really limits your mobility, and instead of making you evasive and hard to deal with, it starts to make you very predictable if you're only comfortable going kind of forward and backwards, okay? So that's why we have the Chun step, as well as being able to adapt the Buma to go in different directions. So when you're here fighting, okay, I'm trying to close the gap on you. I'm trying to get close to you, okay, to use my techniques. Maybe you start to go sideways, okay? You're evasive, you start to skip sideways. You don't want me coming straight at you. So from here, you want to be able to change your step halfway. That's why you often see the Buma and Chun together. So when I'm here, I'm moving in, okay? I'm taking my Buma step to move towards you. You start to go sideways, then this back foot here can send me in that new direction. Okay, so one more time. You can practice this at home. You practice taking a step. You can shuffle forward, shuffle back using your Buma. Okay, we know that already. Here I'm taking my Buma step. Now I want to change direction. In this case, I'm going to my left. Okay, so I take my Buma step. The Chun step comes circle, and that sends me in this direction here. Okay, so I can track back, I can track forward, I can also change direction here. It changes the stance, the position of the stance. So most directly, okay, opponent's tracking left, I'm now facing my whole stance, always maintaining our principles here. I'm facing my enemy, he's going that way, you're going that way. Now let's say, okay, I'm coming at you, trying to close this gap here, you start to track this way to my right. In this case, it doesn't make sense to use the Chun step here because that's going to take me in the opposite direction, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm already committing. I'm coming forward like this. I took the first part of my step. You start to track that way. Now I just use this foot, boom, to send me in this direction. Use my back foot to push off, okay? So, opponent tracking left, Chun step to left. Closing in, opponent tracking right. You bring in, you already committed your step. Back foot off the back foot, tracking right. One more time, okay? You can practice at home. Here you are in your stance. Closing the gap, opponent tracks left. Chun step here to change your stance left. Opponent tracks right. Use your back foot here. Okay, I already stepped. I'm chasing you down. You're tracking right. I use this step here to push, boom, to track here, okay? So simple, it's using those, but you want to be able to track your opponent. You want to be able to stay mobile there, okay? You're light on your feet here. That's most important. From there, there's all kinds of adaptations you can make. You've got to get comfortable, okay, making those shifts. Not this. It's really, really important, okay? Really, really important. So, I don't want to get too complicated. Final thing, okay? You're here fighting. Now, same thing in close, okay? Now, I made it in. I'm fighting in close, but I don't want to stay stuck here in the center. I always want to go to the blind side. Try to change the angle on you here, okay? Make more unpredictable. So when I'm fighting in here, I come in, I want to be able to quickly go from front facing neutral position to trying to take the blind side. Here's a little secret. the fastest way to do that is to move both your feet, shift your whole stance at the same time. It's getting a little bit more advanced, but it's okay. It's easy to do. You just practice, okay? So I'm here, I'm fighting. From here, I shift my whole stance, okay? Then you can practice this one on the spot. In the pocket, fighting, okay? So opponent is up close here. In the pocket, fighting. I'm using my stance, I'm shifting back and forth, take my whole stance, shift to the side to take the blind side. So, facing square, here, whole stance moves to take the blind side. You can do this from both angles. Fighting square here, shift my whole stance, okay? Whoa, I'm here, my opponent's here, whole stance to the blind side, okay? Way to practice this by yourself is just get comfortable here, boom, shift your whole stance. Both legs at the same time in this case. Here, both switch. Here, both switch, okay? Here, fighting off center, back to the center. Okay, I'm here, I shift my whole stance, okay? Allows you to be much more where you think about moving, in a tight circle here. You keep them enclosed, okay? Keep your opponent enclosed. That's a lot. That's a lot to think about, but you can main thing is keep working on that, staying fluid, keep working on that mobility, okay? Then we're going from here, and we're trying to shift directions here, track left, Hyunma, track right, step off to the side. Simple, okay? Simple stuff to practice. Stay mobile. When you're practicing on your own and staying fluid, you practice all those different steps to practice moving around. That's it. Beautiful. Until next time, stay strong, keep practicing. We'll see you next time. Black Mamba Wing Chun.